And I know that you said yes when you kind of also, for you, that was such a big deal to kind of say yes to the program at that price. I know for you that that was like huge, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been absolutely worth it. That's what I mean. Like, that was something I was going to say. Like, even though at the time, and weirdly enough, like, I think I told you, Tracy, the first time I jumped in on like the first, what was it? I think there was just a group. You had a little meeting just to tell people about it. The first time I ever, and I actually got to the end and I cried because I was like, it's everything that I've been looking for years. And the only thing that was in the way was the money. And I was just like, you know what? If if this is meant to be, it'll happen. And then, I think something else popped up and I had that quick 15-minute call with you. And then I was like, oh, I know I still don't have the money. And then all of a sudden, like, Shannon got his tax back and he's just like, you, you're going to do it. And it just, yeah. And I was just like, oh, wow. And it was just funny because I was just really putting it out there. Weirdly enough, I know this might sound a bit creepy, but I just kept on like saying in my head over that time, because there was a couple of months in between, I just kept on saying Tracy Gillies. It was really weird, and it happened. And it's the best. Like, for me, it's worth every cent. Like, what you have helped me with is worth every cent and more if I had it. It's not about money, but unfortunately, like in the physical right now in my life, it kind of is. But
And I just kind of
like,
carry this on and maybe ask you to say, like, where you were at before you started, because I know you've said some really beautiful things along the transformation journey, but maybe just recap where you're at and then how you like what you've found in the program and what changes in that you've noticed.
oh yeah, I was absolutely defeated. I was so at a at a halt, like at a standstill with my health, not just my physical health, but my mental health, my spiritual growth. I actually felt like I was going backwards. I thought that I was like, wow, how can someone who I can look back in my past and be like, wow, I definitely felt like I had grown spiritually, but then, you know, reverted back to old ways. And I kind of was really hard on myself because it's it's worse when like when you know what you're doing is wrong, or when you know that when you have the answers and you're still like actively choosing not to do that. Like, it's kind of like, yeah. And that's what it was. And I just felt like I felt like I knew all the answers and how to get back to that place of where I felt at peace and everything, and healthier. But I just for some reason there was something stopping me. Like, I couldn't do it. And what your program has done has allowed me, and whether it was the restrictions that were put there or the negative entity interference, whatever it was, it's allowed me to move forward in so many ways. It's given me hope again. Um, just to see that progress, I think even just that in itself has given me the hope and encouragement to keep on going, because I gave up. I did give up. I just was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. That was the biggest problem, was that I knew all of the things in my body that weren't, and I could feel it. I could feel all the things, like my liver, um, like there was a few different organs in my body that I knew weren't working. Like, I knew my lymphatic system was absolutely shot. Um, my liver, it was also like the histamine, like just the like the cortisol and stuff in my body. I
Because
knew
you
all of,
said that you would have those big heightened stress responses and you'd actually go red and you'd turn all flushed and you'd instantly have that continuously, and that stopped.
yeah, that's stopped. I think I've only had that flushed face maybe like once, twice, one, two, probably, yeah, 2 or 3 times since we've started the healing journey, which is unbelievable, because I used to get that all the time. As soon as I would start getting emotional, my face would go red. I could feel it all. I could just, yeah, all over my body. And then from there, like, all my joints and stuff would be sore. It also would trigger off like other things, like the stress would actually trigger my gallbladder issues. So when I was really stressed, I would tend to have gallbladder attacks after that. I haven't had that for, I can't even remember. Like, so it just has, like, because I didn't know exactly where to start, like, you've been able to, like, you've gone in there and worked on those together. And it's, yeah, I would never have known where to start. Like, yeah.
And I
So
know that you talked to me last time we talked, you talked about self-love. You talked to
oh
me and
yeah,
said, yeah, that you sort of knew what it was, but you never really felt that.
yeah. Yeah. I used to always sit there and question, like, what's going on? Like, what happened? I don't know. I thought that it was I actually thought that it was like either a generational curse or I don't know. I don't know what it was. I know how to love people, and it would really, because people used to always say, like, you can't fully love someone until you love yourself, and I'm like, that's bullshit. I know how to love people, and I'm so envious of that love that I have for other people. It's beyond my control how much I love the people that I love, and it's so beautiful. And there's always that part of me that's like, we love people how we would like to be loved, right? But yeah, I couldn't find that love for myself. And since doing this with you, I have been able to really, like, I've been able to feel that. I've been able to feel that love for myself, put myself first, just in so many other ways. There's so many different ways. Yeah, it's just, it's made life so much easier. Just being able to, like, just say no, and not, and not feel the guilt of it being selfish. Like, I think I realized that being selfish, like, isn't always a bad thing. I think it's the intention behind it. So if your intentions with anything, I think, like, yeah, if the intentions behind that being selfish are for good, then it's not a bad thing. And I think that's something too, like the guilt and that I felt, that I don't feel that anymore, because I have a better understanding of that. Yeah, there's just been, yeah, I can definitely say I love me, and I feel it now, and it's really beautiful. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. And so maybe one last question. What would you say to somebody that was looking at this program as a way to heal their health or their physical and look at reducing EBV, but really it's about transformation? What would you say if somebody was thinking about doing this process?
Oh, geez, I would 101% say to them, look, just please do it. Please do it, because regardless of how skeptical or, like, the question marks there in your head as to how this is going to be, like, you're never going to know until you do it. And I can tell you right now that it's gonna, that you're going to get something out of it. Even if it's not what you expect, you're going to get something that is going to be so beneficial for you, along with the, like, ridding your body of EBV, which is that, yeah. So I would. To be honest, Tracy, I don't know how like I know it on a, I guess, like how I was feeling, um, and the things that you had brought up about what EBV does to us. And I wasn't aware that that's what the actual virus did until I sat in on the first ever like session, or not session, but chat with you. And even though those are things that have been like they've been removed and fixed, I feel like for me the work you've helped me on a much deeper level than just the EBV. And that's it. Like EBV was just the gateway to getting to you, and everything else that came with it. I would highly recommend. I would definitely recommend anyone to just do it. They're not going to be disappointed. Yeah.
Thanks. But that's the magic of it, because everybody gets what they need, and often people don't realize what they need or what's really holding them back. And it's those things, like it's that self-love, it's saying no to people, it's putting yourself first, it's once and for all stepping into that authentic, true, powerful self. Like that's the place of path progression and a promising life, I want to say. So it's all of those things, because sometimes I just, people are so fixated onto the health decline or the health issues. But
Yeah.
the reason why the health issues happened in the first place is a history of all of those things, all of that constant disempowerment in life, all of those progressions. And it's like you've got to, clear away the past. Like you had a lot,
Yeah.
and a lot of almost like guilt and regret and
Oh,
suffering. And it's almost like in walking that hard path, it is, people do become more resilient, but in a sense, it can also kind of just hold you in, almost just like reliving it over and over. So it was a pleasure to do the work for you, Marley. I loved working with you. You're just beautiful.
thank you, Trey. And thank you so much. I don't know how to thank you enough. Honestly, it has. I I can't believe it's been like it feels like such a short time. Like, and I just have gained so much from that. Like there's been so much in the last 6-7 months that I'm 42 years old, and I've been questioning this stuff for so long. And yeah, within 6 months, I've just had these revelations, I guess, or like, these healings with you, and just being able to actually not just understand it you know, on an intellectual level, but feel it energetically as well.
Yeah. Because a lot of people do say to me that it's almost like made sense of their entire life. It's almost
Yes.
like a deep knowing, and you knew you were stuck, but you couldn't articulate it. And so
Yeah.
it's almost like even that conscious awareness kind of unlocks a lot of things. But obviously, it's a lot deeper than the conscious, and it's on all these levels. But what I find as well, Marley, is the work that I do, it still integrates long after kind of that end process, because it's so deep and profound, and it's like this reconnection to self. So there is this process of, even kind of it extending further into the future. But thank you for saying all those things, my love.